today we're playing doctor, and we have a sick sloth who's come to visit us, and we're going to try to see if we can figure out what's wrong with him. All right, Mr. Sloth, what's wrong with you today? He says his belly hurts, nurse. Can you write that down, please? Let's take your temperature, Mr. Sloth. Look, his temperature's normal. What about your blood pressure? Blood pressure's normal. Could you get him a Kleenex, nurse? I think his nose is a little runny. What's that you're saying? He says his belly hurts. Looks like you might have swallowed some sparkly sequins, Mr. Sloth. Today our Bible story is about sick people. You know, sometimes you go to the doctor when you're sick or you don't feel well. Well, God's people were sick in our Bible story today, and God was going to heal them. Let me read you the story. It's called The Bronze Snake. The Israelites did not trust God to lead them into the promised land, so God made them walk around in the wilderness. The Israelites complained because they did not have water to drink. Does that remind you of something? We heard a Bible story like this before where the Israelites complained because they didn't have food and they didn't have water. Remember, we went on our little camping trip in the room and we roasted peeps and pretended they were quail and we had manna from heaven. Well, here the Israelites are complaining again. They argued with Moses. Why did you lead us out of Egypt? There is no water, they said. God told Moses and Aaron to take the staff from the tent and stand in front of all the people. He told Moses and Aaron to speak to a rock and water would come out. So Moses took the staff. He told all the people to watch. Instead of speaking to the rock like God had said to do, Moses used the staff to hit the rock 2 times. Water rushed out of the rock, and the people and animals drank. But God said that because Moses and Aaron did not obey and trust him, they could not go into the promised land. The Israelites had a long journey, and they complained. They said, "Why have you led us out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? We have no bread or water." This time, God disciplined his people by sending snakes that bit the Israelites. The people realized they had sinned by complaining to God. They told Moses, "We know we have sinned. Please ask God to take the snakes away." So Moses spoke to God. God said, "Make something that looks like a snake and put it on a pole. When anyone who is bitten looks at it, he will get better." Moses made a snake out of bronze and put it on a pole. Whenever someone was bitten, all the person had to do was look at the bronze snake and he got better. When the Israelites sinned, God sent snakes to punish them. But anyone who was bitten by a snake could look at the bronze snake on the pole and live. We sin too. Our sin keeps us from God. Anyone who looks to Jesus and trusts in him is saved and has life with God forever. So when you think about your Bible story today, I want you to remember that God told his people to look at the bronze snake. Now you remember that we have a big picture question that we ask, and I want you guys to see if you can remember what the answer is. What does it mean to sin? And every time I ask that question, what does it mean to sin, you're supposed to say, to sin is to go against God and his commands. While we're together today, I want to go ahead and review the Bible timeline with you. Let's go through our Bible timeline. God created the world. God created people. Sin entered the world. Cain and Abel. Noah and the ark. The Tower of Babel. God's covenant with Abraham. God tested Abraham. The promise reaffirmed. The stolen blessing. Jacob's new name. Joseph sent to Egypt. Joseph's dreams came true. Moses was born and called. The plagues, the Passover, and the crossing of the Red Sea. the wilderness test, the golden calf, Moses and the 10 Commandments, Joshua and Caleb. So maybe you guys today can find some of your stuffed animals and play doctor. And when you're playing doctor, remember about Moses and the Israelites and how they got bitten by snakes and God healed his people.